Thank you all for being patient. So I've told our guys from day one that everything in life you got to earn. And I give Louisville credit. They earned their trip to the College World Series. They beat, in my eyes, a really, really amazing baseball team and an amazing group of men. So when I got hired here less than 365 days ago, a little less than a year ago, one of the things I challenged our guys to do was to create a family atmosphere. And we've done that. I've asked them to be committed to winning in all phases of their life. We've done that. Really believed in development. Told them it was our job to develop them in 3 different areas: as a student, a person, player. And I can look all of you in the eye and tell you that we've done that. And then we challenged our guys to accomplish our game goals, and if we would accomplish our game goals, we'll be national champions, and we didn't do that. So I'm really proud of this team, because to do something that's never been done before is hard. And they're going to be able to tell their kids, they're going to be able to tell their families, they're going to be able to tell their wives one day that they're a part of something that's never been done before. And as a coach, you get the opportunity to coach young men. I coach for development of relationships. And I can tell you this group of men, they'll be really close and to me for the rest of my life. I just told them in the locker room that they probably think that myself and our coaches changed their lives, but more importantly, I promise they changed my wife and my son's lives the way they've touched our coaches.
Are we going to open up for Evan and Riley?
For both players, I mean, in Nick's first year and you guys kind of reaching this unprecedented success, and as he talks about doing things that have never been done before, do you feel like you were kind of on the building blocks of more to come for this program?
Yeah, I would say definitely. It's something we talked about, and Coach Minge talked about how all year long that we're going to do things that have never been done before, and there has to be a team to do it. Throughout the Kentucky baseball history, that hasn't been done before. So, for us to be part of that is truly special, and we've had a remarkable year. Obviously, didn't end how we wanted it to. We're going to learn from it, and in the future, we're going to take over. And I don't know what I was going to say there. I apologize. But we're going to learn from it and come back better. So.
Yeah, I have to agree with Evan. We took that hump, got over that hump, got into the Super Regional, and that's something that's never been done before in Kentucky history. And I can promise you guys this: the University of Kentucky baseball program is in really good hands. With the coaching staff and with all the athletic board and everything, it's in really good hands. And when Coach Minge called us when he took the job in the summer, he was fired up. He was all positive and everything, and it would have been really easy for him to be all talk over the phone. And from day one when we stepped on campus, we knew what he was about. He was real, he was authentic, and we had that feeling from day one we were going to do things that have never been done here at the University of Kentucky.
Coach said after the loss to Liberty, he was convinced, and he kept telling you guys, we're going to be good. And you guys talked about Omaha here, but when did you really get a feel that you guys could really do something special this year?
For me, it was probably that A&M series, going down there and sweeping them at their home park. It was truly special. I was actually at home on the couch watching, which was definitely a different experience. But it was awesome to be able to watch those guys go out there and compete their tails off and play with a fire and an edge that I've never seen before, especially at the University of Kentucky. So at that point, it's kind of when I realized, we were something special.
Yeah, I would say, after the North Carolina week and getting swept, we played really close ball games. We've talked about that before, but our team stayed positive, and that's something we hadn't seen before. If we would have got swept in years past, we would have folded easily. And then, we dropped the midweek to Liberty, and after that, even still, it was, we're positive, and then we roll into A&M, and, we're so, we were on a high, and we did things that we hadn't really seen before, and it was a lot of fun to be a part of.
A lot of people think Brendan McKay will be one of the top picks Monday. What was it just like facing him? What do you guys think about him overall?
I thought he had really good stuff. He was able to command it as well. He moved in and out with all of his pitches, and he just does a good job of commanding the strike zone. And no matter what's going on, he's always even-tempered and stuff like that. So I think that's what really sets him apart from a lot of guys. Doesn't seem like he ever gets sped up or anything like that. So he's a special talent, and have nothing but respect for him.
Riley and Evan, usually during a season-ending press conference, emotions are running pretty high, and yet you guys, as you have all year, seem to be able to keep your heads up. How are you able to do that? What is it about you? What do you attribute that to?
I think we attribute that to you know, all the work that we've put in all year, and we wouldn't be sitting here right now if we didn't work hard. And, you know, we have a lot of respect for our opponent, and they played a great game. They had a great weekend, and we wish them nothing but the best of luck. But, you know, it also goes back to our head coach over here. You know, as soon as he came back in the dugout after the final out was recorded, he was saying, you know, nobody put your head down. And, you know, we're so proud of all the guys on our team, and we know there's a lot of people back in Kentucky that are, you know, big fans of us, and they followed us all year, and they're proud of us. So that motivates us to keep our head up no matter what the outcome is.
One more question for the players.
How tough is it for both guys to be this close and to come so far in such a short amount of time when 8 months ago nobody gave you a shot?
You know, it's definitely tough because we set those goals out for ourselves at the very beginning. That goes back to Coach Mingione, setting those for us. As soon as the first time we talked to him is when you know, he really set that goal for us. So it's been a long time coming, and to you know, come this close it really hurts. But you know, it's a tough game, and you know, we've learned a lot throughout the season and made incredible relationships. So there's a lot to be very thankful for. So we're just going to keep our heads high and, you know, learn from it in the future.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Open it back up for Coach.
Grant.
Could you tell by the way McKay was thrown, and you knew how good he was anyway, that it was going to be a tough one?
Oh, I knew going in it would be tough. I didn't have to play the game. I could have told you that prior.
What made him, just following up on your players' comments, what did you see that made him so good today?
Well, he commanded a baseball. He pitched 6 and what he throw 6 2/3 with no walks. Punch us out 9 times. That's not easy.
Nick, obviously, you know, today's tough for you guys, but how much do you know, you always talk about looking ahead. How much is today kind of a building block for the program and what you accomplished this season?
It's important because obviously we're at a place where we've never been, right? I mean, we've never been in this position. We couldn't draw from anybody experience. There's not a guy in that dugout that's been there besides some of the coaches. So I told our guys that it's good to get here, but moving forward, we got to win here, right? That's the next step for our baseball program.
As you mentioned yesterday, Ellis had been struggling before this weekend. He hit 3 homers against you in 2 days. Did he hit good pitches, or did you guys just make some mistakes? Or?
Oh, he's an elite hitter. I'm not surprised one bit, right? I mean, a guy like that doesn't stay down too long, right? You don't have 17 home runs coming into a series because you're not a good hitter. So it was just going to be a matter of time, whether it was here or whenever.
What do you think Sean gave you today?
He gave us everything he had. You just witnessed a guy that's 6'11", who has not been a starter. Last year he pitched out of the bullpen. What he just did for our baseball program and the way he pitched. Let's see, it was 14. How many total starts did he have? They ended up with 15 or 16, maybe 16 starts. His body's never been through that, especially growing up in Minnesota, right? He emptied the tank for us, like a lot of our guys did.
Just following up on your building blocks, knowing that you had Sean and Zach, 2 guys who will be back next season, start super regional games, how good does that make you feel going forward?
Obviously, those are 2 quality arms, and you know where my brain always goes, towards pitching and defense. In order to win, you got to pitch and you got to be able to defend. And to have those 2 guys back, a lot of things can change between now and then, obviously. But like anything else, we're going to be committed to making those guys, help them grow in all areas of their life, not just baseball. So we'll keep moving forward. And, man, to have those 2 guys on the weekend, I think Aaron and some of these other guys will tell you that'll be about as good as 2 starters as you can probably get.
Nick, I think at 6th and 7th inning, you guys got 1 run but left 5 on against McKay. How much of that did it play into Miles' career?
Sure. So anytime you get guys on base, right, pitchers, either you get them to fold and crack, and you know what, to his credit, he did not crack, right? He would bend, but he would not break. And I feel like they got him out at the right time. And but you know what, to his credit, the innings before, I mean, he just did a really good job. He did a really, really good job for his baseball team.
One more question.
Nick, you mentioned that, you know, these players have changed the lives of you and your family. In what way have they done that?
That's an awesome question. Awesome. Change is hard. It's really hard. It's really hard. And when you ask 18 to 23-year-olds to change, right, adults, you guys, if you can just do a true hard evaluation of yourselves right now, and you get a whole bunch of new bosses, totally new bosses, and they basically come in and they ask you to change basically everything in your life. And it started with changing to what kind of students they were. We made guys go back in cats and study hall that hadn't been in years. And we just told them we were going to hold them accountable for every single move they make. And when you do that, and you starts in the classroom, and then the decisions they make off the field, and then decisions in how they're going to practice and approach each day with the enthusiasm and effort. And when you get a bunch of guys that there's no previous relationships ever built, right? This is not a deal where we were on the phone for 3 and 4 years in advance recruiting them, and we can tell you all their parents' names, and we can tell you who their brothers and sisters are and what their parents do for a living and their dog's name and their girlfriend's names. Like, we couldn't do that. This is just walking into a room with a whole new men and just basically asking them and telling them, hey, by the way, I care about you. I'm going to love on you, but I'm also going to hold you accountable. It's really, really difficult because trust, it takes time. And it's more of a compliment to be trusted than loved. And it takes time. And these guys, I can look all of you in the eye and tell you, I've never seen them give one day away. Not one day did our coaches ever go to the locker room and say, man, they didn't give us everything they had today. Man, that day, what would we, this is a group, you saw it. I showed them a video of our dugout, the very first pitch of the game against North Carolina. Bukakis throws a 97-mile-an-hour fastball. Zach Gregg swings at it, and he crushes it into center field, and our dugout is celebrating. And right before this series, I showed him. And if you look in that dugout to the very last end, our dugout was exactly the same. And to get 18 to 23-year-olds to do that and to hold them accountable for every move they make, you should have just seen the amount of tears they had. Every single one of those kids could not be better gentlemen to my wife and my 2.5-year-old. So when you talk about changing someone's life, they changed mine.